Hi, I'm Lexi, and I took AP Stats as a senior this year. I'm going to the University of Notre Dame, majoring in political science on the pre-law track next year. And my overall experience with statistics was definitely up and down. I'm not necessarily a math oriented person, so it's not my strongest subject, but it really taught me how important it is to study and practice on your own, because not everything in an AP course comes directly from the classroom and the teacher. A lot of it is taking responsibility for what you do and don't know, asking questions, but also taking time out of the classroom and out of school to do your own work. And this became especially important in reviewing for the test because I did just a lot of review. For me personally, I knew what I struggled with and what my weaknesses were, so I knew exactly what I needed to fixate on in terms of preparing for the test. So I would only recommend this course to anyone who's willing to try hard and stay motivated throughout the year, especially if it seems to get hard at times, because it definitely did for me. But I'm just hoping that all of my hard work paid off and that I got the score that reflects all of this hard work, because AP courses definitely teach you how to be a stronger and better student. And for that reason, I would recommend AP Stats to anyone who wants to become that.
Hi guys, I'm Jackie Grace. I took AP Stats this year as a senior, and next year I'm going to be attending the University of Connecticut for biomedical engineering. So I really liked stats. Stats was actually my favorite math class that I've taken throughout high school. I took AP Calc last year as a junior, and I liked stats significantly more. Stats is a very abstract math course. It actually involves very little math. It's a lot of writing and explaining why your answers are correct. So before you take this course, just know that you're getting into a lot of writing for a math course. I think that with stats, you definitely need to be continuously looking over your notes from previous sections, because everything does build off of the last section that you learned. With multiple choice, I think that that probably would have been the hardest thing on the AP test. I know that the people that took the AP test this year did not have to do a multiple choice section, but when we were given the practice test, the multiple choice was always what was hardest for me. So just be sure that you really understand the difference between all of the different tests that you have to perform within this class, and I think that you'll be fine.
Planning to take AP Stats next year. I think the only advice I could give is just do all the work, be prepared. I would say do everything as you get it, don't push it off, and ask lots of questions.
Hello, possible future AP Stats students. My name is Kendall Orlowski, and I took this course this year as a senior. Next year, I will be attending the University of New Hampshire as a bio major, and I initially took stats to get some more math background under my belt before I went off to college. I would definitely recommend this AP Statistics course to anyone next year for a number of reasons. First of all, being that P. Hans is a great teacher. He always makes sure his students are understanding the content, and he takes the time out of his day to slow down on topics if we need more help and conduct individual conferences with us to check up on our understanding. Another reason I would recommend this course to others is that the course is less focused on the grade and power school and tests and stuff, and it's more focused on the final goal, which is doing well on the AP test. Another reason that I would recommend this course to others is that the workload is very manageable. I took AP Calc this year and AP Stats, and I was able to manage both classes because P. Hans always assigns a number of homework problems that is fair and doable and more focused on understanding and practicing the material, and it's never overkill or more workload than I can handle. I wouldn't say there's any cons to this class, but definitely going into it, be prepared to work and put forth effort. You should really prepare for that when taking any AP course. So I recommend taking AP Stats next year. Good luck.
For AP Stats students next year, which for you guys watching this is this year, is to always do your work and pay attention, because if you don't do those two things, you're going to either fall behind or not know what is going on in class. And in-class discussions are really important to actually learning and understanding the material.
Hi guys, it's Olivia. I took AP Stats last year and it was a very interesting course. One recommendation I have is just to stay in the course if you're willing to do well, if you're willing to be motivated throughout the whole year. It's not a course that you can be focused here and not there. You kind of have to stay in it through the whole year and be asking questions and making sure you really understand the material, every section. Peons will help you and he wants you to be successful within this course. And it's one that you really just have to, make sure that you're doing well on. One tip that I have is just really making sure that you have a good note-taking strategy through each section, whether it's in the book or the notes that Peons provides for you. And during the MCQs and the FRQs that he provides you, whether it's through College Board or his own, really make sure that you take your time through it and you understand everything. I know for me personally, sometimes I would just rush through them just to get them done and then not really understand the actual material. So please just really take the time. It'll be so worth it in the end. And it is a hard course. There's a lot to understand. But like I said, I would recommend it for people who are, willing to get it done in the end and stay motivated throughout the year. But if you do that, you'll do well on the tests and good luck.
My name is Juliana Fabrizi, and I'm a senior this year, and I'll be going to Dickinson College and majoring in English. One of my favorite parts about stats this year was that we were able to learn about all the different hypothesis tests, and there was a clear way that we could apply that to the real world, whether we read a study somewhere and we were able to understand what they were saying or something like that. If I could change something for next year, I would probably spend less time worrying about the vocabulary because it'll come. It's much more important to just focus on the test that you're learning and not worry about the specific words or types of studies that you're doing.
Here's some tricks that help me with the AP Stats class. First, I used a different color pen because I like to do math in pen, and I would write in the margins as we were going over the bookwork assignments, and I would take notes, and this would help me keep all my examples and my notes in one spot. Next, at the end of my notebook, I created a calculator shortcut section, so when I was reviewing for the exam, I could just check right in there, or when I was taking the exam, I could check and make sure I was doing it right. Next, Stats Medic was really helpful. It helps you prepare for the exam, it gives you notes and review questions, and it really shows you what will be on the exam. Also, I recommend getting a review book. I use this one off of Amazon. They're not that expensive, and they're really helpful because they have practice questions, practice FRQs, and they have all the notes in there, so they're really nice when you're reviewing. Also, using AP Classroom rather than the book for practice questions is super helpful because it'll show you exactly what is going to be on the exam.
All right, for AP Stats, when doing problems, don't forget to do the conditions. Try as many practice FRQs as you can. And grading your own FRQs is a good way to understand what they expect with their rubrics. And if you have it available, statmedic.com is something we use, and it's a good way to review.
Hi guys, it's Olivia. I will be attending Dickinson College in the fall with a major in neuroscience. And just looking back on AP Stats this year, I really enjoyed the class. It was Peons' first time teaching an AP class, but I think he did a great job of preparing us for the test. Having had him in past years, I had a lot of confidence in him because I always thought that he was one of the best teachers that I've ever had. And the class itself, regarding workload, there is a sufficient amount of work. It is an AP class that you can get college credit for, so there is a sufficient amount of work, but it's not crazy and it's not too overbearing, and it'll help prepare you for the test. A lot of people, or at least me, stats, knowing that it's a part of math, assume that there would be a lot of like numbers and stuff, which there are, but there's also a lot of context involved, so it's like math and English kind of meshed together. So just expect that, and use your skills from other classes and the ones that Pianzas teach you to perfectly answer those questions. And yeah, just make sure you guys are working hard and you'll be successful.
Hey, I'm Cooper and I'm a junior, and I'd say AP Stats was a very good class and it definitely prepared me for the test. If I had one piece of advice for next year's students, it'd be that because there's not many quizzes and tests during the class, you need to make sure that you know the material, because if you don't want to find out at the end of the year that you don't understand anything.
I'm Sarah Davey. I'm a senior, and next year I'll be attending the College of William and Mary, where I'll major in cognitive science. For AP Stats, I'd recommend that you make sure you take thorough notes, because at the end of the year you'll have a whole bunch of procedures to choose from, and you'll want to see exactly how to do each. And that means even though some of the conditions and procedures get repetitive, I'd recommend writing down every single step and condition each time, because that will just make it easier to reference your notes at the end of the year. If you put in some work to this class, it can definitely be a lot of fun, and compared to other AP classes, it's on the easier side as long as you're keeping up with your work. So I hope you enjoy AP Stats.
Hi, I'm Alex, and I took AP Stats this year with Pihans, and I'm just here to tell you a little bit about why you should take stats. So this year was Pihans' first year teaching stats, and he did a really great job, telling us all the information and teaching us everything that we need to know to do well on the test, even if there was a global pandemic, which kind of changed things. But no matter what, I think we would have been really prepared for the test. Even though it was his first year teaching, he definitely did all the research he needed to do and knew everything there was to know about stats, which was really helpful for us, and we felt like we could trust him a lot, which is really nice. And also, he kept a really good pace throughout the year. I know that, we finished before, we left school even, before the pandemic even started. So we had all that time to review, online, which was really nice. And if we weren't online, we had so much time to review in class. So we definitely kept a really great pace. And stats is just one of those things, which is, kind of a different math. So if you're not good at the traditional math and things like that, I know stats was really fun for me because I'm not good at, the algebra stuff, things like that, calc stuff, but stats is something that I felt really comfortable in. So if anyone's considering taking stats, I would definitely recommend it because Pihans does a great job. Bye!